Hey guys, this is Pratik Oswal, founder and CEO of Glide Invest, and we are here to make investing stress free, one financial goal at a time. So, today's episode is going to be about how to plan your investments to meet your financial goals. We all know that investment planning is not easy. It takes considerable amount of research, simulations, calculations to arrive at a plan that meets your financial goals. So, let's start. So, what are financial goals? Financial goals are big picture objectives that you might want to achieve by investing. They can be either personal and could also be exclusive to your circumstances. I think the most important part about financial goals is the identification of these goals. And because they do play a really large role in determining your future financial capabilities. So let's start with the first point, which is assess the reasons why you want to create wealth. So the first step when planning investments is to identify the underlying factors that drive you to do so. What are the reasons to why you want to invest? Some of the factors are just goals. Goals can vary from person to person. It can be ranging from a house, from a car, vacation, funding your children's education, or even starting a business. Before you invest, these goals should be very clear, and you should have minimal room for ambiguity when you're stating the reasons to why you should create wealth. Apart from goals, the second and this is probably the most important reason to why most people invest is retirement. So even if you're more than a decade or two away, you need to start very, very early, because we all know that investing early is extremely important because of the power of compounding. So experts believe that you would probably need around 70% of the time of the amount that you make at a peak of your career to maintain the same standard of living post-retirement. So I think the trick is to, reinvest early, because it takes good 10 to 15 years for the money to start multiplying because of compounding. The third reason, and this is an underrated reason, is inflation. Inflation refers to the general price increase and falls in the purchasing value of money. This means that things over time gets a lot more expensive because of inflation. And unfortunately, in a country like India, inflation is extremely high. In fact, money sitting in a bank account makes you poorer every year. So the only way to maintain your purchasing power or the standard of living is to invest in higher return categories like equity. So I do think that inflation, retirement, and goals are extremely important. Let's start with goals. Warren Buffett said that he made his first investment at the age of 11. So this is extremely important point, because it's important to understand that Warren Buffett, actually took 55 or 60 years to get to $1 billion in his net worth, and another 20 to go from 1 billion to 100 billion. That is the power of compounding. I think it's very important to identify the goal as early as possible in your lifetime, so that you can start saving ASAP. In addition to that, for goals that are around foreign travel or education, make sure you take into account foreign currencies when you're investing. Investing in an international fund makes perfect sense if the goal is in a different currency. The second reason is risk identification. I think it's extremely important for investors to stay in their risk profiles for as long as possible, in fact, for the entire lifetimes. What normally happens when it comes to investing is that people tend to be aggressive in good times and conservative in bad times. This is a short reason of failing. The only way to do it is to maintain your risk profile across a period of across all times. The next reason is select asset classes. Asset classes are extremely important. Asset classes are type of instruments that exhibit similar characteristics and are subject to the same laws and regulations. So for very simple goals, we would recommend a combination of debt and equity, but investors who are looking to invest for extremely long time can also look at international funds, can also look at gold to build their asset allocation. When it comes to long-term goals, as I said, asset allocation is the gold standard of investing. Investors who don't know how to mix their investments can simply have most of their money in equity, followed by debt, followed by gold, and then also at least a 15 to 20% in international equity. If you have these four asset classes, you're good to go. So for your equity allocation, we really at Glide Invest really recommend index funds. Index funds are extremely low cost. They're extremely effective in long-term horizons, and they actually don't really have the risk of really performing badly. Index funds are basically are funds that replicate the returns of an index. I'm sure all of you would have heard of Nifty and Sensex, which are very important indexes. The whole point of investing in index fund is to make sure that your returns are exactly the same as the benchmark that you're tracking. And we do feel that index funds are the best possible funds out there for you to go out there and build long-term wealth creation. So in conclusion, investment planning is no easy feat. I think it's extremely important for investors to stick with their goals. Identify the goals. That is the most important point. Identify what they are saving for, understand their risk profiles, select the right asset classes, and use index funds for their equity allocation. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next time. You can listen to us out here or check out our website www.glideinvest.com. You can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter on @GlideInvest. If you want to reach out to me, then I'm at Pratik Oswal 88 on Twitter. Cheers and happy investing. See you guys next week.